So when we talk about agile mindset, it is the way the work is being approached is what mindset is all about. So the term mindset, if you closely look at, comes from a book from Carol Dweck, which says that mindset are the behavior that drives an individual day-to-day life. So if you have certain mindset, maybe positive, negative, then your everyday behaviors will be driven by that. And when we talk about agile mindset, it is more or less the same thing. So it will tell you the way the work should be approached. So it does not prescribes you what need to be done, but it just gives you principles and ideas. So if you need to look from a different example, everyone talks about we should do exercise and it's good for our health. Whether you do swimming, running, cycling, yoga, it irrespective. So people usually don't prescribe, but it's the way how life need to be approached. Yeah. So the way life need to be approached is we should do exercise every day, or we should keep our body physically fit. And that's what the agile mindset is all about. So it does not prescribe you how you should deal with your specific problem, but it will give you a generic guidelines from the point of view of principles and the ideas that are driven in agile manifesto. Agile mindset also talks about that we should look our product development or our analysis from inspect and adapt point of view, which means that every single time we build something, we should try to inspect what has been done properly and what could be improved. And then if the process require any adaptation, that need to be adapted as well. So it goes with a simple principle that doing plus retrospecting equal progress, which means you do something, then you do retrospecting, that will equivalent to progress. Unless that retrospecting or inspecting does not kicks in, you will not improve in your product, in your delivery. And then the next important part is feedback from stakeholders, customers, and teams. Often in times in the past, the feedback is only meant from a customer. Yeah. So, but not from a developer, not from a tester. Agile mindset also talks about that there should be a constant feedback from the teams as well, which means that innovation can only comes up from the people who actually build the system. Yeah, this need to be understood when we are trying to implement agile practices. Yeah, so somebody sitting in a boardroom cannot bring innovation to your system unless he's not at the core of it. And that's where it's important to take feedback from all the people involved in the product. Yeah, whether it's stakeholder, whether it's customer who gets it at the end, or the teams who are building it. How agile mindset need to be implemented, there are certain features that you need to look for. First is deliver value rapidly and consistently. Now, often at times when people talk about agile, they say that we want to deliver something really fast. Yeah, we want to reduce our time to market. We want to make sure that we are ahead of our competitor. But in addition to that, what agile mindset says that rapid pace is good, but are you able to do it consistently or not is also to be considered, which means it can be possible that, say, Apple is able to deliver iPhone 2 versions in a year, but if is not in the market in the next 2 years, it is already out. So it has to be done consistently as well. Google is a classic example. So if you look at Google, their homepage image changes every day, which essentially means they are able to put those images in production every day, and they are able to do it consistently for years, and that's made a great impact on the overall organization as well. The next part is there should be an iteration, but this iteration should be done to learn. So when we say, or when we go to our previous point of inspect, that inspection should be done with a sole motive to learn something. We should not do inspection or iteration from the point of view of a checkbox, because often at times organization feels that we perform audits, we do a lot of background work, we take customer surveys, but all these customer surveys, all these audits are just the checkbox, or they are thrown into some basket next to the executive. So it's important that all these iterations are done for learning, for improving the product. The next important item is to simplify processes in order to avoid waste. It's often said that waste is a crime not to the organization but to the society, because you are essentially wasting resources in terms of people, processes, money. And when we try to simplify processes, it essentially reduces waste. So there are, say, n number of uh, meetings, for example status meetings, where people just give their status and then they have to wait for the next 2 hours to listen everyone else's statuses. And if you closely look at it, many of these meetings, many of these processes can be removed altogether in order to bring effectiveness to the entire organization. And what Agile Mindset talks about is, if you can simplify all these, then it will reduce all the waste that you are creating. The next item is consider context and adapt to realities. In one of my project, we said that we want to deliver a feature for a specific bank, and then we soon realized that we couldn't deliver this specific feature because the databases are not available. Yeah. Now, one of the reason for not able to get the database was the budget was not approved in time. Now, if you look from the commitment point of view, we have to deliver. But if you look from the reality point of view, we couldn't deliver. So Agile Mindset essentially means that we at certain point in time, the stakeholders, the customers need to understand all these various contexts or the circumstances in which a product team is operating in, and try to bring it closer to the reality, so that the reality wins all the time. Because plans are good, but it's the reality that wins all the time, and that need to be understood by all the stakeholders across the board. And that comes only when you have a certain kind of belief system or mindset. The next item is more on the feedback. As I mentioned, that we have to reflect on the feedback that we receive and adapt it both for product and processes. The other feedback can be on processes. So a customer can tell you that to purchase your product, I have to write it to 4 departments. Can you make sure that it can be done with a single click? It can also be internal. So for example, if you want to approve a document, it may be possible that you need 3 different teams to approve your document. And when you closely look at it, you will say that, why do I need these 3 teams? Why I can't get all of them together and get one approval, so that I don't waste time for my team as well as for others as well. Yeah. So it's more from the process point of view that people might have built over the years, but never looked at it or never want to relook at it. Yeah. And then, of course, the final item is to look at producing highest quality product. So that should be the goal of the team, that we should build a product with highest possible quality.